Really? Okay.
Press conference here. Look, here we go. Right, do you want to start? Look, he's like, come on, let's get on with this.
What did you do after the game on Monday? Have you a long meeting or only train or?
No, well, schedule-wise, we've done what we always do, and that's planned always in advance. I think that first of all, I think your question is about the aftermath really of a disappointing night, and I think first and foremost we have to own that that's what it was in terms of the result. And although we should never take any result for granted, and we don't. We respect every opponent, but the large parts of the performance obviously match the result that we got as well. So that's the first thing. We have to put it out there and go that that is not who we want to be and who we are, but it happened, and we have to take whatever comes our way with that, and not so much say with you guys or but internally as well. We have to look at it and talk about it and review it for what it was. Which, in my opinion, there's the obvious mistakes around the goals, and I hope that we don't make a habit of conceding goals as we did. But I think the bit that was most frustrating, looking back, was one, how well we started the game, and I don't just mean going 1-0 up. When I looked at the first 50 minutes, we were exactly on the plan. You know, you looked at the stats, you could just tell, and the attitude was good, the approach was good. If we hadn't gone 1-0 up, we looked like we were going to go 1-0 up, and that's how the game could have been for the rest of it. So to show that mentality to let them back in and then concede, okay, was the first failing in the performance. But then for me, when I look at the second half and I look at how much ball we had, how much territory we had, but then how little we created, that's really where the frustration is. Because you can make mistakes and you can concede off a set piece and you can concede a sloppy goal. But if that's the only thing that you review, then I don't think that's a thorough review. What we looked at was the overall performance and us being not creative and productive as what we should have been in the second half, which was then inclusive of Marco's red card, because that was, again, an eating. Marco will own that. It's a silly mistake, and then obviously you're up against it even more. So not good enough. But like I said, around the goals, mistakes. But for me, more frustrating was what I'm talking about. Is we had so much ball, we had so much opportunity.
But it was 60% against 40.
60. Sorry.
Have you the ball 60% in the second half or more?
Yeah, I think it felt like more. So for us to be as unproductive as what we were in front of goal is more of a frustration than the obvious mistakes that we made around the goals and the red cards. So we have to own that because really, we want to be a team, and it's going to be hard, that is playing against low blocks all the time. We want to try and play in that style, but we're not there yet. But if that's what we come up against, we have to be better than what we showed in that night. So to long answer to your question. First and foremost, own it, say it as it was. Don't hide away from it. I've been very clear on my opinions of it. And let's see now how we deal with reaction.
Also, just surrounding the penalty and non-penalty decision, it seemed like there was this big change in the momentum of the game as well. Do you consider things of the foundation to be a little bit too porous or fragile in some way?
Sorry, could explain that?
Just that the momentum can change so quickly.
Yeah, it did. So like I think we spoke after the game. Like the game went from we went from one team to another in that one moment, and that's not something that should happen, but it did. And like I said, the biggest failing in the performance was not being productive as what we should have been with the amount of ball that we had. And from that moment of conceding to the half time, we come away from the plan. And when we come away from the plan, we're never at our best, And I've showed that many times. So, but I go back to, guys, what I've said before, and I apologise, but I don't apologise for repeating. Of course, we have to win as many games as we can, of course, because that's always the name of the game. But I also know we've got to build something different that's more sustainable to be real competitors in the long term. And I can't come away from that, because in the end, that's what's going to give us the best chance of succeeding sort of longer term. So we'll be happy when we win, and we'll be so disappointed when we lose. But at the same time, we and I have got to stay on the path of the plan that we believe in to take us to where I want to get to.
On Monday, the Weights team from the bottom.
Yeah.
What do you think about the game they Weights on Monday?
Well, I think if we just talk about ourselves and look internally, for me, it's a great game to react to. First of all, and I did say this before the last game, and I'll say it again, we will never go, we're playing against a team in certain form and league position. If there's ever a truer reflection of that, it's the last game. They've picked up most, if not nearly all of their points at home. I know there's going to be a good atmosphere there. I know there's going to be a mentality of really wanting to put us under pressure there. So we need to be ready for that, and we need to thrive on that, and we need to react better than what we did last week. So in some ways, I look at these. You can look at these things and go, sometimes not the game that you want after the last one, but looking on the bigger picture of where I think we need to grow to, it's exactly the game that we want, and we have to be ready for it.
What about Daniel West? Is there a chance he can be involved in this game?
There's always a chance. Yeah, but there's always a chance. We naturally, I wouldn't say bigger or less than the previous game.
Suspended.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What we know, we have to make 2 changes with the suspensions. Also, there's a little bit of illness in the camp. Valles is not trained today, so that might increase. Plus, we have to look at what we saw a little bit on Monday. And I'm never going to be that coach that if you play really well, it means you play in the next game. If you play crap, then you come out the next game. But sometimes that does happen as well. So let's see. And what I do think is with the changes, and I would imagine there's quite a lot of talk around the red cards, but also with it being Marco and Noah that have been, prominent players for us. I have no problem saying Noah's been our best player. We need to see people step up, but also we need to show, or we need to see if we've got the depth that we have in the squad as well.
Well, is there any problem with Valles, or it's?
There is today. It's a sickness bug.
What, sorry?
A sickness bug. Is that how we say it? Yeah?
He's sick.
Sickness bug. Yeah.
And Kleiber is out Monday?
Yeah, Sean. We won't see Sean now until we return in the recommitments in January, February. So I think I said to you guys last week, he had a setback. He was getting close, and then it's got to a point where that's him done.
Speaking about Daniel Vaz, before he hasn't been playing for the last 2 games, he's a big name here in Premier. How do you think he has handled the situation?
Good. I mean, he won't mind me saying he initially came out with the team. It wasn't my fault. It was his, and he accepted that at the time, and the team played good. There's no doubt about that. After or better, I should say. So, but no, Daniel's fine. I mean, he's really, however he might feel about a situation, whether he's very happy with it or the opposite. You see the same guy on the training pitch, and you do as well, because I know that you watch a lot of training. So what you see, I see, and very professional guy, and will be doing everything he can to, when asked to play, will give everything.
And the chance is bigger now than it was before.
For Daniel,
yes.
I think it's bigger for everybody that was not maybe didn't play in the last game, and maybe less for some who did. So it's just that normal game plan selection of what we're going to in terms of the opponent, what we think the plan is, what we have available, because obviously there are some injuries and suspensions, and then trying to pick the right team. So it's a normal, for me, it's the normal process, the normal dilemma, the normal decision making. Sometimes you have more decisions than others. Some of them are forced on us for this week because of the suspensions, and maybe some others are forced on us as well because of the last game. But we'll make the best decisions possible with the best intentions to go and play well and obviously win.
You have 10 games now in Superliga with Brøndby. 6 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. How did you see that at the moment?
I think you always look at results and you always look at, I talked about the pathway. I think that's probably something I'm really happy to talk about after Monday. And I think we are planning to do that on Tuesday. So for me now, I think we've all focus really is on Monday, our approach. We've still got a few days preparation, and we need to be really motivated, committed to go into the break with the right performance and result. 1, because you always want that. 2, because of the last game, and 3, that's who we should be anyway. But the bigger picture stuff, maybe that's for another time. But maybe Tuesday we can talk about that.
Okay. Along those same lines, just whenever you talk to folks back home, what are your general takeaways of working in Denmark?
Do you know what? I have again maybe more depth on Tuesday, but I personally think the league is. I'll be honest with you, it's not well known, certainly in the UK, but it's underrated. I think there's a lot of really good coaches. I think there's a lot of really good teams. I think it's.
What about the players?
Let me speak. I was going to say you see players that commit like we're going to a team on Monday, and I'm looking at some of their players, and I think they're a real threat, and we have to manage that, you know. So I think you see that every week, and that's why the real focus always has to be on what we're building here, because we are changing. There's no doubt about that. We're changing on the pitch and we're changing off the pitch, but we have to win as many games in that changing as much as we can. But I'm really enjoying it. I've really bought into the football club and what it stands for, and as the day goes by, I get even more motivated and paranoid to do well. And I will stand up for this football club more than I did yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. So, and that's how I feel about it, to be honest. But you know, the reality is, it's your everyday work, it's your everyday training and recovery and preparation, and all of these things that go into performance. You have to be good, because if you're not, then you'll get found out in games, and that's how it should be. That's elite performance. This club is massive in this country, and we've got to aim to be the best at everything we can off it, and that for me is a great challenge, and one that I don't just speak about myself. I speak about all the staff, the guys who've been here before, and obviously the guys that have come in with me. We know that we have to be really good at what we do, and get the team to be the same as well. So I really like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Nothing on Noah? Oh, get up a minute. Quick.